So how can organizations truly invest in their leaders and have a high probability of success with every investment, whether that's energy, time, real dollars, or efforts spent in improving the performance of their leaders? When it comes to people development, it doesn't need to be sophisticated. It just needs to be impactful. After 2.5 decades, here's the formula. Whether you use us or don't use us, here is the formula. Number one, U.S. organizations spend somewhere between $60 and $160 billion a year on leadership development. On average, somewhere between $400 and $4,000 per leader is spent every single year. And I'm here to tell you, most organizations are doing it wrong. Most organizations have no clue how to maximize those dollars, and they're a sunk cost. I'm also going to talk about ways that you can change to really make it a return on investment versus a sunk cost. Let's talk about it. I'm Chad Carden, founder of the Carden Group, and for the past 2.5 decades, I have been working with C-suite level people to really challenge them to think about the way they approach developing and improving the performance of their leaders. Because again, most people are doing it wrong. And McKinsey has a study out there that says 62% of CEOs admittedly say they're making it up as they go. So how can organizations truly invest in their leaders and have a high probability of success with every investment, whether that's energy, time, real dollars, or efforts spent in improving the performance of their leaders? Let's dive into this. When it comes to CEOs, they have a bias when it comes to development. One bias is a sophistication bias. They believe that it takes years to make change. They believe that it takes all these grandiose plans, and you have to plan for 6 months or plan for 12 months and then roll it out and then test it, and then 16 months down the road, now you can have something that you can roll out to your leaders. You're already behind the 8 ball. When it comes to people development, it doesn't need to be sophisticated. It just needs to be impactful. The other bias is a quantification bias. Some CEOs believe that if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, or you can't prove out an ROI. While I buy into that a little bit, I will also tell you that the top CEOs, and again, this is McKinsey's study, not mine, the top CEOs realize that some of the things that you can count don't always count. And some of the things that you can't count truly count to the impact of their organization and the results they're trying to drive. It's the soft, it's the squishy, and top CEOs truly pay attention to that. So here are a few things to think about. I don't know where your organization is, and this is not an indictment, but some things to think about when you think about developing and improving the performance of your leaders. Number one, the number one biggest mistake organizations make is that it is not integrated into their strategy. Organizations have visions, they have strategic plans, they have missions, they have values, they have OKRs, they have HPIs, they have a scoreboard that they measure, and they're doing all of this around strategy to drive better results for the company. And then over here, they do some leadership development. It runs in parallel. It's not integrated, it's not supported, and it's not the real environment. So if your environment's not supported, it doesn't matter how much development you give your leaders, most of it will fall by the wayside. Listen, if your environment doesn't support it, it's going to be hard for you to sustain it. If I don't want to gamble, but I end up in a casino, that environment doesn't support me not gambling. Eventually, I will probably succumb and place a bet. If I don't want to drink and I live in a bar, that environment does not support me not drinking because that's not the right environment. And I'm not supported with the people around me because they're all in there gambling or drinking, which is nothing wrong with that. And so if you give your people leadership development over here and it's not part of or integrated into your everyday DNA or part of your strategy, then it really doesn't matter because it's not going to be supported long term. It's not going to be, if I go or one of my team members goes to a leadership development and ultimately they come back and they're excited about it, but I as their boss don't support it or don't even have line of sight of what they went through, and say things like, I'm sure that was important, but let's just get back to work, eventually, if it doesn't matter to the boss, it's not going to matter to the team. So it has to be integrated and supported. Now, how do we do that? One, it has to be top-down driven. Not supported, driven. It has to be part of the DNA and become just who you are when it comes to developing and improving the performance of your people. Two, it has to be real and relevant. It can't be some off the shelf where in theory that's good, but your leaders can't connect the dots on how to implement it every single day. It has to be practical, tactical, and they have to see how it doesn't add more to their plate. Nobody needs more stuff to do today. We need to provide leadership development that truly creates efficiencies and actually removes things off their plate because it integrates and blends into everything that they're doing, not seen as something else. So you have to make sure that that's, and three, ultimately, you have to give your leaders time to implement. A lot of companies want to do a one-day leadership development or a 3-day offsite and give their leaders, or have a conference and give their leaders some leadership development and check the box and say we invested in our leaders. But I can't go to the gym once and be in shape. I can't go to the gym for a month and be in shape and then stop doing it. It has to be implemented. Implementation comes down to two things. You have to help leaders break the wrong habits, some of the things that they're doing that's not moving the needle or driving results in the direction you need them to drive it. And two, build the right ones. Give them the right tools to be able to pull out at the right time, in the right situation, with the right person to drive those results. Ultimately, people drive results. Results don't drive people. So how do you ultimately do that? How do you create something that integrates? How do you create something that's top-down driven? How do you create something that's supported by their boss? How do you create something that gives them an opportunity to implement it and apply it and try it and test it and pilot it and do what's right and really make those part of their everyday habits that ultimately drive better results? After 2.5 decades, here's the formula. Whether you use us or don't use us, here is the formula. Number one, you have to have clarity and alignment on what it is you're ultimately trying to accomplish when it comes to development. And more importantly, who's responsible for what. Because as the CEO, you can't just support this. You have to drive it. It has to become part of everything that you're doing, part of your strategy, as I mentioned before. You have to have clarity of how it integrates into your strategy, not something else or running parallel with everything else that you're doing. Number two, it has to be customized. It has to be real and relevant, practical and tactical every single day to what it is they're doing that allows them to make life, nothing's easy in the world today, but make life easier for them to drive the results you're asking them to drive in the seat that they sit in every single day. So to do that, it really must be tailored to your leadership, to your environment. Number three, it must enhance what it is you're already doing. It can't be something else. Too many organizations have the flavor of the month syndrome, where you try this and you try this and then you throw this at them and then you throw this at them, and it's falling on deaf ears because they put their hand on the stove one too many times. They're not going to do it again. So it has to be an enhancement or an ongoing process where they see of a building process of what you've given them as a foundation and how you're building on it to make them even stronger leaders as they go throughout. Number four, it has to be time phased, which means it cannot, standalone training is a complete waste of money. You have to give them a foundation, you have to develop them, and then you have to track progress, create responsibility, create accountability, and allow them to really define what's working and leverage those things as what's working and what are some of those things that they're challenged with, some of those roadblocks, and help remove some of those roadblocks along the way. That comes to that time-phased approach. So it literally takes 12 to 18 months to truly transform your leaders, which transforms your culture, which transforms the results that you're getting on an everyday basis. It is a commitment. And the last thing is it's an ongoing, never-ending journey. If I work out every single day for a year, if I eat right every single day for a year and then stop, the results are not going to continue. It's the same thing with development. It's not about starting over. Too many organizations, they start at the goal line. If you use a football field, they start at the goal line, they start an initiative, they get to the 50, they're saying, well, that's not working. So they say, let's scrap that and start something over. And they go back to the damn goal line. Then they start the goal line again, and then they get to the 50, and they say, that's not working, and they start the goal line again. You have to continuously enhance, refine, build, tweak, fine-tune what it is you're doing that allows your leaders to be on a continuum, that allows them to just show up in a way that helps them always improve performance as they're moving forward. This formula that, again, we have perfected over the past 2.5 decades has proven out time after time after time. It's proven out two things. You can transform a culture, which means you can take your current belief system, your current mindset of your leaders and your people, and truly transform that and create something brand new with your current workforce. But more importantly, too, when you bring new people in, it's something that it just is the way that you operate and do business. It's just the way that you show up. It just becomes the expectation of how people work together, how people create stronger working relationships, how people drive engagement, how people drive more fulfillment. It just is. And now it just becomes part of the DNA that allows you to improve the performance of your people to drive even better results. So here's the question. If you had to be honest with yourself, are you truly committed to leadership development? Or do you have this entire great strategy for growth in your company and then leadership development sits over here? Or internally, do you have a leadership development team that provides leadership for your leaders, but it's not connected to the strategy? It's not integrated, it's not blended. Or do you just pull something off the shelf from an organization? I'm not talking about our competitors at all, but a lot of people just have a fixed program. Do you just pull something off the shelf, give it to your leaders and say, here, check the box, we've given you leadership development? Do you support them? Do you drive it? Do you allow them to implement it? Do you track results? Do you make it part of the DNA? And if you don't, it's not an indictment. Again, it's just an opportunity to enhance. It's an opportunity to integrate. It's an opportunity to implement. Those are the things that you want to do. And if you're not going to do those things, then just don't spend the money. Stop spending the money because it's just truly a sunk cost. There's other ways to invest that money in your company that can help improve performance. But stop BSing yourself, stop BSing your organization, stop BSing your leaders because they can see right through it when you're not truly committed to improving their performance and truly committed to enhancing their career. Do something today, figure it out, make shifts that truly allow your leaders to set themselves up for a higher probability of success by creating relevancy, part of the strategy, tracking it, and seeing even better results. Best of luck.